Hello everybody, this is Fun Police, and this is going to be my first video on Company of Heroes 3. I've been a big fan of Company of Heroes and was extremely excited when Company of Heroes 3 came out just a couple days ago. However, there is a lot of units that exist within the game, and I want to make a sort of, I guess, comprehensive overview of everything the factions offer in this first pre-alpha. With that said, this video is going to be over the US units, and that's going to cover all of the base options alongside additional units that are doctrinal. So the first unit we're taking a look at is the Scout Squad. It is built from the headquarters for 180 manpower. It is a 3-man squad that is based around long-range combat. It is mainly a support unit and has two abilities. It has a rifle smoke grenade, which you can see has quite the long range.
Let's set up some smoke.
And then you also have a recon flare that I will show off in a moment. But there's the smoke screen.
Moving to new destination.
And I believe that the MG bunkers right around this recording clip made it so it didn't look like it blocked line of sight, but that does indeed block line of sight where it's fired. And then you can see the recon flare has an absolutely massive range and obviously provides sight.
We're moving out, fellas.
Scout Squad also notably captures territory 50% faster and has a better range of sight, so it's good for scouting and taking territory quickly, but at 3-man they're not that effective, combat-wise.
Got orders.
Their VED abilities are track target. They're able to track enemies in this fog of war, and they can also have passive healing when they're out of combat. Then you have the Engineer Squad. It's also from the headquarters and costs 200 manpower to build. They have 4 SMGs. Then they can upgrade a flamethrower for 50 munitions, or a hazard removal package, which gives them a minesweeper, wire cutters, and allows them to overall do that. They also have multiple buildables. For example, here is the sandbag, which is built in smaller sections, but is built like barbed wire. It is quite the interesting way to do sandbags. Then we also have barbed wire, which is barbed wire. Hopefully that's clear. We also have the fighting position, which is a lot like a bunker. As you can see, it takes a little bit to build.
Look lively and stand by.
Our tactical points being captured.
They can also build tank traps, which provide green cover for infantry behind them and block vehicle movement. The fighting position can also mount a 30 caliber MG. It actually has quite the large range. Although, again, it's a bit difficult to say if it's worth spending 150 manpower and 50 munitions for a static target that can't move and has a limiting firing range. Then you also have the M5 mines, which can be planted and are effective anti-infantry options. Most of this stuff is pretty basic stuff for various engineer units, and is probably true for most of them.
That's getting right, all right.
Obviously, engineers can also repair. They can also throw a satchel charge, which is a powerful explosive, but it has a massive wind-up time and a short range. Very good at blowing up buildings or bunkers or similar things. They also have the vet lighted up. They can shoot an extended burst with their flamethrower or superior fieldcraft, where they are able to repair faster and are better at detecting mines. So obviously both of those upgrades are useful at different things. Then we have the captain. He is built from the headquarters also and has 280 manpower. He is a strong supportive option, and you can see he has 1 Thompson submachine gun alongside 4 riflemen. And then for 75 munitions, he can get either 5 Thompsons in his squad or 2 M1919 weapons. He has a passive ability of leadership. Nearby units gain double the experience, letting them vet up very quickly. He has an ability called Follow, the squad is able to... He will follow around another squad within the selected range. You can see the radius, and then he'll essentially just walk behind them, offering support. He has a grenade assault. Every member throws a grenade at the given area, as you can see here. And they are also notably cooked grenades, so they explode extremely quickly. His vet, heroic charge, he rallies nearby infantry, and they break suppression and have increased defenses, allowing them to assault positions. And then mark target. He's able to point out a target, and that squad will overall take more damage. Good at focus firing. Then you have the barracks, which is your first tech building for 160 manpower and 15 fuel. It is going to build 3 different units alongside some tech upgrades. The first one is the Rifleman. Your mainline infantry. They cost 260 manpower, 6-man squad. Notably, one member has a Thompson submachine gun alongside the 5 M1 Grands. This makes them particularly nasty in close quarters combat. The grenade package is 150 manpower and 30 fuel in order to get both standard grenades, AT grenades, and the breach ability. And the bar light machine gun package, it will equip all riflemen with 1 bar alongside giving them the ability to upgrade a second bar. So for the grenades, as you can see, that is the breach ability. The squad will run up to a building and will throw a grenade in, killing and ejecting the garrison. Here's the standard HE grenade. And then the AT grenade, which is the snare of the infantry. They have 2 vets. Fire superiority increases their rate of fire and allows them to ignore enemy cover for the duration of the ability. And then cover to cover, you are able to use this, and in an area around them, click it, and the infantry will rapidly run over to that area. They don't shoot during the ability, though. Then you can see the Thompson has been replaced with a BAR, which is overall more effective at range. And then you can also get that second bar up for 50 munitions. Riflemen are very well rounded with pretty much everything you could want outside of hard AT, but they seem to encourage a very aggressive play style.
We're locked and loaded.
Definitely a very well-rounded unit, and should definitely be one of the most powerful infantry mainline squads, at least early on. Very similar to their Company of Hero 2 variants, where they're very powerful. Then you have the Jeep, 180 manpower for it. It's an ultralight vehicle. It has a 30 caliber machine gun and is mainly effective at supporting fire. It can upgrade a commander, which allows it to see farther and also boost nearby infantry. It can self-repair if it takes damage. It has a veteran's ability of either allowing to recapture territory, or allows it to drop medical supplies and reinforce nearby infantry. Overall, it is a effective weapon in the early game, and can be considered similar to the Kubel wagon from the OKW and Company of Heroes 2, I would say. Good at harassment. Then you have the final one, the Mortar, which is 260 manpower. This unit is hopefully pretty self-explanatory. It is, well, a mortar piece. It can fire off either a standard HE barrage or smoke grenades, or a smoke barrage, both of which can have various usefulness. It's got decent range. It's definitely not the largest, and definitely has to be a close support weapon. You can see its barrage is a little bit inaccurate, probably better against garrisons or against static targets.
The Germans are taking one of our points.
Then it has the either air burst barrage, which is a more effective HE round with a wider area of effect, or delayed fuse HE barrage, which have a small timer before they explode, being more effective against units. Then we move on to the Weapon Support Center. This is the Tier 2 building, and it allows you to construct 3 different buildings. These are a bit more of heavy weapons or specialty units. First one is the Heavy Machine Gun for 250 manpower. This is a 30 cal. It's a standard MG.
Get set to redeploy.
It's a 4-man squad. It deploys down, and in that firing cone, it will shoot at infantry and suppress them.
Get those guns ready.
Very standard.
Orders just came in.
Also notably, all HMGs have the ability to reload by default, which is an excellent addition. That was just added to Company of Heroes, and it's such a good addition to this one to just have out of the gate. Then you can either button vehicles as your Vet 1 ability, which allows you to slow the vehicle down and blind it, or you can cover training, which allows it to have better or reduced received accuracy. Essentially, it makes out in the open and cover more effective. Then you have the Bazooka Squad, a 280 manpower unit. It has 2 bazookas, making it effective against infantry, making it effective against most vehicles. It can destroy obstacles with one of its abilities, which allows it to destroy cover and walls and buildings as needed, which is being shown off here. We're going to blow up some of those hedges. AT in this game is highly effective against most armor. Here's an anti-tank satchel. This is essentially a high-powered snare. It deals significant damage, but has a long cooldown and does require the squad to get close. Its veterancy is either sprint, allowing it to quickly move around the battlefield for a short duration, or a white phosphorus rocket, which allows it to shoot and snare enemy vehicles. It's essentially getting a second snare. You can also see here, this squad will camouflage in light cover. Alongside hold fire, this allows it to ambush vehicles. The final is the Sniper, being a 340 manpower unit. It's a 1-man unit. It acts as a sniper. You can see its firing range there. It is able to camouflage in cover and should act like a sniper that is seen in Company of Heroes 2. Has 2 vets abilities, Stealth Recon. He'll holster his weapon and be able to camouflage even in the open, or he is able to heal himself out in the open, or outside of the base. Then you also have the M3 APC. It is 270 manpower and 25 fuel. It is able to reinforce nearby infantry and has a 30 cal. It also has 3 upgrades. It has a quad mount for 75 munitions, a 75mm howitzer for 75 munitions, or a med kit upgrade for 60 munitions, allowing it to heal. If any of these upgrades are chosen, it will no longer be able to transport infantry. It also has the ability to recrew weapons, namely removed things. Also has salvage crew and fortify position, which I actually had a bit of a hard time understanding. To what I understand, salvage allows it to salvage wrecks for a bit of resources, and fortify position I think allows it to dig in, essentially. But it is able to reinforce. You can see here I got the M3, well, it's a motor carriage. It now acts as an artillery piece, or be an AT weapon. This gives the half-track actually a lot of versatility, either becoming an AT weapon, or with the quad mount, it's able to be an effective anti-infantry and anti-air weapon. And then the medkits allow it to be essentially a forward base in a way. Beyond that, we are moving to the motor pool. However, that requires a support center to be upgraded, which is actually these 3 things you're seeing on the right side to the left. They each cost 100 manpower and 30 fuel, and once built will allow you to tech up into various upgrades, universal upgrades, but are required for your late game tech. The first unit from the motor pool we'll look at is the AT gun, which costs a total of 270 manpower. It's a pretty standard AT gun.
Orders just came in. Get set to redeploy.
4-man squad, solid range and firepower. Pretty much effective against anything. It can load AP rounds, which have higher penetration and do more damage, making it better at attacking them head-on. It can get focus sight, allowing it to self-spot, essentially, or brace, which allows the squad to take significantly less damage, but won't be able to shoot, effective to potentially save it. Then you have the M8 Greyhound. The Greyhound is costs 280 manpower and 40 fuel. It is the anti-infantry unit, or the all-rounder light vehicle. It can get a Pintle 50 cal, making it effective. It has the radio net, which increases its accuracy of nearby vehicles by 15%, or it can unlock Seek and Destroy, which says it takes less damage from handheld AT. And I'm not sure which one of those to believe. I believe it's probably just the placeholder. You also have the Chaffee, which is 320 manpower and 50 fuel. This is the Tank Hunter, and I would say is very similar to the OKW Puma, having a very powerful AT weapon, but not a whole lot of anti-infantry power. It can fire smoke canisters to protect itself or nearby units, which is seen in the support center. And then its vets are flanking speed. This allows it to move faster and take less accuracy. Or Seek and Destroy, which allows it to see units in the fog of war. And then the final build, and then we're on to Tier 4, which is the Tank Depot. You need 2 support centers out in order to construct it. And as you see, this is just an example of how long these things take to build. It does vary a little bit, but just to give an example. Here you can see the M4A1 Sherman, 360 manpower and 90 fuel. This is your standard infantry, or standard medium tank. It can get a 50 cal Pintle, as with the Chaffee and Greyhound, or with the Greyhound, I mean. It can also fire smoke canisters. And then it can either get high explosive rounds, making them very effective against infantry, but weak against armor. Or it can get white phosphorus rounds, which is able to blind and slow enemy armor, and acts almost like a snare. Here you can see it's shooting. The Sherman seems very effective against most situations, although I expect it will struggle against enemy heavy armor. Next up, you have the M18 Hellcat, 320 manpower and 60 fuel. It has a 76mm gun, giving it highly effective AT power. It also has a Pintle, giving it some amount of AT. It naturally has flanking speed, allowing it to quickly get on the flanks of enemy units. Then it can have a long-range barrage, allowing it to fire HE rounds and act like an artillery piece, or it can get long-range ambush, where it is able to camouflage itself and then get improved stats on that first shot, making it strong at potentially engaging heavy armor and making sure the kill happens before they can get away. This is flanking speed in action. You could see just before we were moving normally, and then flanking speed was activated, allowing it to move significantly faster. This definitely seems like, a standard AT weapon, although I expect it to be also an effective dive to snipe off enemy units. Then the final standard vehicle is the Bulldozer 105 Sherman, 420 manpower and 90 fuel. It is highly effective against infantry. It can get a Pintle HMG. It can also has the Dozer blades, which when they are down will allow it to have heavy crush, allowing it to smash through tank traps, clear mines, and other hedgerows, or it can raise it up to move faster. It also has smoke canisters.
Capture complete! Suppressive fire!
And then its vet, it can either get a bunker buster barrage, which is more effective against buildings, or it can unlock incendiary barrage, allowing it to launch incendiary rounds at an area. This vehicle is very effective against infantry. You can see there. It can also still deal some damage to armor, but the slow-moving shell, and it does have somewhat low penetration, so it is better built for that. And then here is one of the Airborne. Here is the U.S. Airborne units, which is seen in the U.S. Airborne effect. They are a 6-man elite infantry squad. They can drop anywhere on the battlefield.
What's the mission? We've got someplace to be, boys.
They are either able to upgrade 2 bazookas or 2 M1919s.
Marching keeps us in tip-top shape, boys.
Or I'm sorry, M1941 LMGs. The bazookas give them anti-infantry capabilities, and because you can drop them behind, sometimes that could be useful. And the M1941s increase their firepower overall. They have a cooked frag grenade, which is a standard HE grenade, but explodes significantly faster. As you see, half a second before it went off. Also, they have satchels able to blow up emplacements or garrisons, which can be quite useful to dig the enemy out. They also have the veterancy of quick capture. They capture territory quickly, or unlock ambush, where they camouflage in cover and then get bonuses shortly after firing outside after cover, allowing them to ambush. Another doctrinal unit is the M29 Weasel, 240 manpower. It is unarmed at first and can transport infantry and capture territory. And it can be upgraded with a 30 cal, which stops it from... which I believe stops it from carrying infantry units. I can also deploy an unmanned HMG for 75 munitions. Same thing with a mortar for 75. They have to be crewed. And then you have signal layer, which allows it to essentially produce resources if it captures the territory. Or medical supplies, where it will heal nearby infantry if it's stationary. Then you have the SSF Commandos. They are elite infantry. They are supposed to be able to upgrade to either M1941s or bazookas, but in this preview they seemingly only have the bazookas, or occasionally have the M1941. They seem a bit buggy. But you can see here they actually are able to toggle their bazookas, but here is them throwing a M15 phosphorus grenade. Not only does that provide smoke, but it also wounds units that are standing in it. And then they can toggle bazookas, meaning that they get all the AT power, but can just become a normal elite squad otherwise. They unlock the knife throw, which allows them to kill one infantry model at close range instantly, or a time demo charge, which allows them to plant an explosive charge. That is notably very powerful. Then the final vehicle we have is the Whiz-Bang. It is 400 manpower and 100 fuel. This is a rocket artillery.
The Germans are taking one of our points.
While it has the Whiz-Bang on, it cannot fire as a normal Sherman, but it fires 180mm rounds. And here we can actually see it in action against a Grenadier squad with some vet on it. We will see it is quite effective, if a bit inaccurate. It's very good at saturation.
Go get it back.
As we see, that squad almost got killed, and if one had landed a little bit better. So then you also have Precision Sweep, allowing it to fire in a thin line. Really nuke pretty much whatever is there, or it can jettison the launcher at Vet 2, allowing it to act as a normal Sherman, which is a very interesting one. Then you have the 3 support centers. There's an infantry, air, and mechanized one. The casualty support center, as it's called, or the infantry, you can decrease infantry upkeep by 25%, Engineers can plant explosive charges or plant heavy AT mines. Infantry reserves, infantry are 25 cheaper to reinforce and reinforce 50% faster. And munition surplus, upgrades for various units are 50% cheaper. Mechanized support, you can get smoke, which is for the chaffee and gray whatnot. Radio and recon, many of the vehicles get faster sights. Improvised armor, they get thicker armor. And HVAP rounds for Hellcats and Greyhounds get mines, allowing them to be more effective. In the Air Support Center, advanced air recon. Recon planes will provide line of sight as they fly by, even during like strafes and whatnot. All air support planes are 50% cheaper. Air support, they retreat. Air supremacy, they recharge 50% faster. And then finally, double sortie. Strafing and bombing runs now attack with 2 planes, meaning that even if they get shot down, I believe they are more resistant. They also, all of those upgrades cost 100 manpower and 20 fuel. And then the final thing is a medical station, which is able to heal nearby squads and has something called reintegration. You will actually see the medics run off and grab infantry squads, which will then be added to wounded squads, allowing them to heal and gain some vet. And that is going to be it. That's pretty much everything within the US faction currently. I expect there will definitely be a lot more added, but hopefully that was a comprehensive look at practically everything within the doctrine and faction in general. I've had a lot of fun. For anybody new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, leave your comments down if you've played the pre-alpha. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Personally, I've been loving it, and I'm very excited for it. But I want to thank everybody so much for watching this, and have a good day.